Okay. It's recording. Okay. So we don't take too long. Those of you who get it, yell out what sine of 0 is on your unit circle. If you don't understand it, say, Sensei, I don't get it. What are you doing here? Okay. So what's sine of 0? Someone yell it out. 0. What's sine of pi over 2? Anyone, yell it out. So we can get this done. 1. Sine of pi. 0. Sine of 3 pi over 2. -1. Someone else besides Anthony. 2 pi. Sine of 2 pi. Delilah, sine of 2 pi. 0. Got it? Boom. Okay, so that's that. Now, what do you notice? Okay. Notice how I picked these specific degrees on Giselle. If you want, you can find this unit circle filled out on the in your Chromebook, or like I see Delilah's using her phone. That might help you to follow us a little bit better. So it's called the unit circle. If you want to Google it too, you can just Google it, unit circle. I Google printable unit circle. Printable unit circle. Okay, do you guys notice how the reason why I picked, what do you notice about the answers? What do you notice about the answers? Ashley, what do you notice about the answers? What's that?
They're all here.
Yeah, but specifically about these, anything else? Yes, that's right. Yeah, like, notice I didn't get, hey, I didn't put 5 pi over 3. What's sine of 5 pi over 3? Why did I not pick that one? You guys see sine 5 pi over 3? Marcos, what's sine of 5 pi over 3?
Negative root 3.
Yeah, negative root 3 over 2. Who wants to graph that? You want to graph that, mother, father? No. So I picked all the ones that are easy to graph. Do you think it'd be easy to graph 0, 1, -1, 0? So that's why I picked pi over 2, pi. Notice it's the pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2. It's the 90-degree angles, right? So I picked those, and generally when we graph sine and cosine functions, we focus on the 90-degree intervals, okay? Now, the negative direction, notice the positive direction goes like this. We also have to graph the negative direction. So what about negative? Let's look at the negative. You guys know, like, negative. Can you guys see this here? In negative, so negative pi over 2, negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, negative 2 pi. I'll let you guys fill that up. Giselle, have you found, are you having trouble finding it, or you need help, or? I can do either. I think I have them. I don't know if I have to fill one out. So type in printable unit circle. Or build a unit circle. That works. Don't do that. Printable unit circle. There. All. And embedded done. Embedded done. That's good. That's one I use. There it is. Got it? Okay. All right. Okay. So you guys look. Have it here. My printable unit circle, right? Negative pi over 2. You guys see the first one's negative pi over 2? Pi over 2 is here. Negative pi over 2 is here. You get that? Negative pi would be here. Negative pi is the other direction, would be there. Get it? See what I'm saying? Negative 3 pi over 2 will be to the top. And then negative 2 pi will be flink. See how we're getting our numbers for the negatives? Okay? And again, I'm making it complicated now, but when we graph it, just so you understand, complicated so you understand, but I'll make it much more simple when we graph it. So, how about Delilah? You do negative pi over 2. Okay. Anthony, negative pi. Marcos, negative 3 pi over 2. And then Raphael, negative 2 pi. I'll get to you guys later. Okay. Delilah, do you need time? You get it. You need time? Okay. Obviously, we do the table to help us get the graph, right? This is my, if the regular graph, x, y, right? It's the x and then the y. Get the x and then plot the y. X, y, x, y, x, y, x, y. All right, Delilah, did you get negative pi over 2? Negative 1? Yes, very good. Negative 1. Anthony, were you negative pi?
I got 0.
0. Very good. And Marcos?
1.
1. And Raphael?
0.
0. Boom. You guys get that? You guys all understand? So now we have it all filled out. You have it filled out? Should look like that. The whole chart. Okay. And we're going to go, let's go ahead and graph it. So now we're going to do a graph. See what it looks like, by the way. But anyway. So on the graph, you're going to go up 1, up 2, right? However you want to do your scaling. I skipped 3. You guys might want to just go 1, 2. I don't know, however you want to do it. And then look, notice how I have here. Pi over 2, pi, 3 pi, 2 pi. Right? That's my x. This is my y. Negative pi over 2, negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, negative 2 pi. Go ahead and set up your coordinate plane.
Mr. Sanchez,
Yes, Mia.
will this be on the test or on the quiz?
This will be
Or
on
on
the
both.
test on Thursday.
Okay.
The quiz is just what I went over on. Yes. I reviewed the quiz yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. Okay. I can't remember. Were you here at the beginning of class, Mia, yesterday?
I was, but then I left right when you started teaching it.
Well, I have it recorded, so make sure you watch the video. Everything on the video. Be ready for it. Okay, there's Alexis. No, that's not. Is that Alexis? It looked like that. Okay. But this will be on Thursday, so it's good you're watching. Everyone needs to watch. Like, everyone who's not here is going to come on Monday. They're going to take the test, and Tuesday they're going to say, "What the hell?" Right? But they're going to be responsible for this because we have. I mean, I got to get it done by Thursday. So it's good you're all here, including you, Andrew, and Mia. So hopefully this will make sense. You guys ready? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Where are
Anthony.
the lights on?
So I could see, so they could, I think it projects better on the camera. I think. Do you need them on?
Oh, it's fine.
I can do an experiment and see if it looks better. We just do one. How's that look, Andrew and Mia? You guys see that still? Is there a glare?
There's a little glare.
Yeah, there's a glare. All right, I'm turning it off. Okay, I'm going to start graphing this. So first, I'm going to graph it with the table, and then I'm just going to show you the pattern. Look at that. You're already getting it. Good, Delilah. So let's graph it with the table. I'm going to start with I'm going to start with 0. Okay? So you guys, no one's looking at me. You guys just graphing on your own? Should I just graph it, Ashley? Are you just graphing it on your own? I was wondering if I should just go, or you guys ready? You guys need more time? Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, 0, 0. Blink, blink. Right? Pi over 2, up 1. Pi over 2, up 1. At this point, you guys can probably just graph it on your own, right? Pi, 0, 3 pi over 2, negative 1, and then 2 pi, 0. Okay, I'm just going to do the zeros first. Okay, so those are your points. I'm going to do it wrong first. Mr. Noodle, right? Because I'm going to take points off if you do it this way. You guys ready to see the wrong way? Here we go. Here's the wrong way. Do. Besides missing that point. Okay. Do you know what I did wrong? You don't know how to graph this yet, but do you guys know? What's that?
Because you have to make.
Yes. This is like linear or V's. Don't make it look like that. No points. It needs to be more like an S. Curvy. Curvy. So make it like this. Curvy. And it goes on forever, so you put the little arrow there. Okay? Make sure it's curvy. Now let's go over here. Negative pi over 2, negative 1. So I know I'm in the way. Delilah, sorry. Negative pi is 0. And negative 3 over pi is 1. And negative 2 pi is 0. Again, you want to make it curvy. There you go. You guys see a pattern here? It has to follow that wavy pattern. A lot of times you can graph it, if you graph it wrong, you can say, oh my gosh, the pattern's off. You can tell by doing the eyeball check. Check your answer. Oh my gosh, the pattern, it's not doing the wavy. Like you'll have go up and then up. It won't look like the smooth waves. Okay, that's how you do it, but I'm going to show you the easier way to do it. This is not. I don't expect you to do the table every single time on the graph, okay? Just like we did our other ones. I don't expect you to do the table. So I'm going to show you the easier way to do it. Okay. Notice, you guys see here? Up, down, up. Then I start the pattern again, right? Up, down, up. You guys see that pattern? Each pattern has 5 key points, okay? So look at here. Key point. Notice the key points. Point. Let's do it here. Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. See my 5 key points? Then I do the other pattern. Let's look at this pattern. Here's my 5 key points. Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. Notice point 5 and point 1 are the same, right? Point 1 is the starting of the other one. Point 5 is the end of the other one, right? See my 5 key points? 5 key points. You get the 5 points and you just go, just have to put the 5 points. Sine and cosine have different patterns. This is the sine 5 key points. So here we go. Here's how I do the sine 5 key points. Sine 5 key points. If you notice, 3 of them are zeros. The first, last, middle. First key point, this is the 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my 5 key points. First is 0, last is 0, and middle is 0 for sine. Got it? And then this one in between these goes above. This one in between goes below. Just do it. This one in between goes above. This one goes below. And you go, woo. And that's all you've got to do. Let's do this side. 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, it's the same one as the last one. Where are my zeros? Remember what I said? Zeros are what?
First, middle.
First, last. First, last, and middle. And then I go, starting from here, go 1 above, and then 1 below. It's right here. Then you go, and that's all you got to do. Middle, or 0, 0, above, below. That's all you got to do. After all that, oh, I almost tripped. Now, let's go. If it looks like this, so you're doing your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if you, I don't know, like what if you accidentally put one here and here? I'm trying to do it, I don't know, whatever. Forget I just did that. That's it. That's for cosine. Because sometimes people will go like this, and they'll go like this. Here's my 5 key points. Whoops, right here, here. And I'll see in the test, see how it doesn't look like the pattern? The eyeball test. You can tell it's not really following a pattern, right? The eyeball. Does it look like it's following the up, down pattern? This one I can, oh my gosh, it's kind of off, right? You can see the eyeball test. Okay, that's sine. Okay, let's do cosine. We'll do cosine a little bit quicker, okay? So cosine, remember cosine. So Giselle, since you're first looking at it, remember cosine, you look at these. So do you see on your unit circle pi over 2 on in your graph on your down? Did you fill that one out?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to pay attention to me instead of filling out? Did you get everything I got? You able to do both? Huh? You understood the graphs? Okay, good. So do you see pi over 2 on your? Do you see pi over 2 on your unit circle? It's on the top, right? You see the x and the y? Yeah. Which one's x? 0. So that's your cosine, right? So all of these 0. Okay. So let's go with Ashley, negative 2 pi. Julian, negative 3 pi over 2. Okay. Marcos, negative pi. Raphael, negative pi over 2. Anthony, pi. No, do 0. 0. Giselle, do pi. Delilah, 3 pi over 2. Okay? We could do others if you want, if you run it, if you get the time. It's weird. I don't know if I feel hot or cold or. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. This old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my with a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. This old man, he played two. He played knick-knack with my shoe. With a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. All right, Ashley, what do you get for negative 2 pi? I don't think so. Let's look. Negative 2 pi? The negatives are harder. Okay. Negative 2 pi right here, look. So we go this direction. With me? All the way to negative 2 pi. That's negative pi. Negative 3 pi over 2. Negative 2 pi is here. It's 360, which is positive 1. Okay. So we get positive 1. Whoop. Okay, Julian, negative 3 pi over 2. Up here, it is 0. You're right. 0. Very good. Got 0. Marcus, you were negative pi?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you get? Huh?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Raphael, negative pi over 2. 0. Anthony, 0. 1. Giselle, pi. Yes? Delilah, 3 pi over 2? 0. And then 2 pi, our favorite singer is 1. Okay, you guys got that? So let's see what cosine looks like. Cosine. Okay, cosine. You guys need a second to build your graph, or? Okay, did I tell you this? I can't believe next week and then it's Christmas break. 2 weeks off. Christmas shopping. New Year's, my wife's family throws a big old New Year's party. It's crazy. They have all this good food. Although I don't know if they're going to do the New Year's party with the COVID stuff. I don't know what I'm doing for Christmas. I'm going to go see my mom, but they also have a big party with my wife's family. I don't know if they're going to do it because of COVID. Huh? What's that? We didn't throw the big party last year. We kind of did the New Year's party, but it wasn't as big. Like my wife has relatives in LA. They didn't come up. And I still, like my family got together, but we're not as big. My wife's family's pretty big. Okay, make it 2 pi 1. So, all right, I'll do the 0 first. 0, 1. You guys can graph this on your own. Let's see, I'm going to do it in black. 0, 1. Pi over 2, 0. Now, this is going to have 5 key points also. Pi is -1. 3 pi over 2 is 0. And 2 pi is 1. Make sure it's curvy. Oh, shoot. Make sure it's curved, so I need to get in the way. Curvy. Connect the points. Make sure you put an arrow at the end. Curvy. And then negative pi over 2 is 0. Negative pi is -1. 3 pi over 2 is 0. Negative 2 pi will be +1. Make that curvy. And there's y equals cosine theta. Notice the pattern. It's because I went above the dot. It's still okay. To pass the eyeball test, when your eyeballs look at it, does it look weird or does it look okay? I went above this point. I went above. If I went right through it, it would look okay. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So remember the 5 key points. This one has 5 key points too. Don't do this graph all the time. Just know the 5 key points. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 key points. Notice my 5 key points. Let's look at the zeros. Yes, Anthony. Huh?
How do you know how many to go across on the x-axis?
Go across what? Go across here? Like, is that across and that across?
On the x-axis, like how do you know exactly where to put them?
The 5 key points?
Yeah.
Put them anywhere. As long as they're evenly spaced, as long as there's 5. And I'll show you that. It'll make more sense in the next one. But usually we like but it's going to get different. But because I'm going to give you parameters where it's going to shrink and stretch it. But if it's not shrinked and stretched, it's going to be pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. But I'm going to show you something a little bit more that's more complex. That'll make it, I don't know. Because this only works for one kind of function. But I'm going to put numbers around there too, okay? All right, let's look at our 5 key points. So 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just look at it like that for now. That's all you need to know. 5 key points. My zeros for cosine are going to be in the 2 middle. I don't know how you'd call it. Those are my zeros for cosine. Remember, the sine was outside and middle. Cosine is like the two. I don't know. How would you describe those two? I don't know. I mean, every other, the second zeros. And then this one, it just goes above, below, and above. Five key points. 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, Delilah, can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one that they share is 5. What are my zeros? The ones in the, how do you describe that? I don't know. This one and this one. Those are my zeros, right? Not the ends, but kind of the middle, right? Then above, below, above. Above, below, and above, which is the one that I share there. And then there you go. 5 key points. To pass the eyeball test, that looks good. Oh, let's see. No, let's hit that one. For some reason, I can't hit that one point. Now let's compare and contrast sine and cosine. I'm going to graph my sine with it. How they look the same, how they look different. 5 key points. What are my 5 key points for my sine? Raphael, you know? Remember? Yeah, I like the first, then the last, the way I remember it. You remember first, last, and then what you said, the middle, right? So yeah, I like to go first is 0, last is 0, and the middle is 0, right? And then between those, above, below, right? The middle, above, middle, below. There we go. Woo. Right? 5 key points. Look at sine and cosine, right? 5 key points. First is 0, last is 0. I share that one, right? Middle, 0. Above and below. Above. You see the line? Below. Below. And connect. See how they're kind of same, but they're shifted, right? Blue is sine, black is cosine. Sine theta, black, cosine theta. Anyway, that's that. So that's how you graph sine and cosine. But wait, there's more. You guys need a break? You good? Okay. Anyone feeling pain? Actually, this is painful. Painfully boring. A little bit. I know, I'm sorry. This is painfully boring. I get it. Okay, we got the 5 key points. Okay, now, notes. Parts of the trigonometric function. The first part, what we call, is the amplitude. The amplitude of the trigonometric function is half the distance of the maximum and minimum. That's the definition. I'll explain what that means in a second. I think the definition is a good explanation, but sometimes you're all, what the heck? Basically, it's how tall it is. The amplitude is how tall it is. Amplitude, how tall is this thing? Now, some are going to be taller than others. This one was our standard amplitude. What is the amplitude of this one? Or let's go back to the one that we graphed so you can tell. You can see the numbers here. Will we hear? What's the amplitude of this one? So minimum maximum is here. Halfway would be here. From 0 to this, how tall is it? 1. The amplitude of this is 1, right? Basically from the center up or the center down. You can tell this is 1 from here too. But the amplitude of this is 1. Sometimes it's 3, be way up here. Sometimes it's 2. Sometimes it'll be a half, okay? The amplitude of that is 1. So that's the one thing we're to learn. What is the amplitude? Now we're going to talk about the period. The period is the repeating portion or one revolution around the circle. It's basically the pattern that happens once. Top, bottom, top. That's one period. Or middle, top, middle, bottom, middle. That's one period. That is one period. Now, these are called periodic functions because they are patterns that repeat. It's a periodic function. That's why you can pass the eyeball test. It's a periodic function. Did I know if I set of pull-ups today? I didn't? Okay, you guys good with that? Okay. Julian's still right. Ashley's still right. Delilah's still writing. I was going to show you how to graph tangent, but it's just too much today. We'll do that maybe Monday. Okay, so the period. So notice top, this is sine. Top, touch, bottom, top. That's one period. Or the period could start here. See how it starts at 0? So I hit 0 again. Up, 0, that's not a period because it still has to go down, right? Down, then back to 0. That's one period. See the period? So it's basically, that's going around the circle. Remember we go 0, pi over 2, pi, and then 3 pi over 2, and then back to 0. That's one period. Okay. Now that we know what an amplitude is and what a period is. This is important. The parameters. Remember, we have the parameters to be A, H, and K. Well, we're just going to do. Remember what the A did with our parabolas and our cubic functions and stuff. What did the A do? Stretched it, and that's the amplitude. So this is the A. That's the amplitude, and the B will let us know the period. This is not the period. You have to calculate the period, but this helps us to figure out the period. So make sure you write these parameters. A is amplitude, B is period. So a lot of things is y equals A sine B times the angle, y equals A times cosine B times the angle. Sometimes I put theta there. So the amplitude is pretty easy. The amplitude is just A. If A is 3, then amplitude is 3. If A is 2, then amplitude is 2. If A is a half, then amplitude is a half. But what about the period? So amplitude, we figured out, is absolute value of A. Write this down. Period is equal to 2 pi over whatever the B is. Make sure you write that down. The period is 2 pi divided by the B. Period is 2 pi divided by the B. It's very, very, very important that you know that. Like very, very important. Like very, 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 very important. Guys got it? Now we're going to use these to graph, and then we'll be done. Okay? You guys need a break? Anyone need a break here? Break. Giselle, you need a break? You sure? Raphael? Okay. Okay, so number 13 on your homework asks you to graph. First, you have to identify the amplitude and the period, and then we graph. Number 13, g of x equals 3 times sine of x. Actually, are you cold or hot in here, or are you just right? You cold or hot in here, or are you just right? Your temperature, okay. Julian, how's your temperature? Do you feel hot or cold, or what do you feel? Okay? What's that? Feel okay? Marcos, how about you? Good? Okay, good. Everyone's good? Raphael? Good? Okay. All right. Delilah, how you feeling here? Okay. All right. So the first thing is, let's do the easy one. What is our amplitude? 3. Good. That's easy. A equals 3. Okay. Now, here's the $1,000,000 question. What is the period? Two over pi?
Or 2 pi.
Yes. Before I figure that out, Anthony is 100% correct. Before I figure out what the period is, what's my b equal to? The b is the number in front of x. What number is in front of x? That you can't see. Marcos, what number? Tell me. 1, right? You guys see that? B is 1, right? So the period is 2 pi divided by b. And if my b is 1, it's going to be 2 pi divided by 1. Got it? So my period is what? What's 2 pi divided by 1? And that's what Anthony said was 2 pi. He just calculated it in his head. Which was what we did before, right? Remember our original graphs? Notice, where does it end at? 2 pi. You guys see that? That's a regular standard function. But anyway, let's go ahead and graph it. So let's get it on a thing here. So the whole thing here is, let me show you how to do this. So here's what I'd like for you to hang on. I know I'm in the way here. Let me clear this out. Look how my graph is here. Notice how my x is not labeled. Got it? So write your new graph with no x, because this is how we're going to handle our period. Okay, so go up 1, 2, 3, or whatever. How high do we need to go on this graph? We need to go up 3 because our amplitude is 3. I'll write it here. Amplitude is 3, so we need to go up to, we need to have at least 3 there, right? And our period is 2 pi. Okay? Our period is 2 pi. Now this is going to answer your question you had before, Anthony. How do we know where to put the numbers and stuff? Okay? So this is going to help us show you how to do this, to know where to put the numbers. Andrew, how are you doing over there? Did you fall asleep? I think Andrew fell asleep. Mia, are you asleep?
No.
Okay. We lost Andrew. Or he's eating eggs. Well, that's what I would always do when I was doing distance learning. I'd be eating eggs while I was teaching because they're so good. You just fry them in a pan. I don't know. Are eggs gross? You guys think eggs are gross? Make an omelet. Okay. So let's do our 5 key points. You guys have this? This is not labeled, right?
Right.
Now, let's just do 5 lines evenly spaced out. I don't care how evenly you space. You could do it every other. You could do it every single one. I'm gonna do every other one. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are where my 5 key points are going to be. Okay, I skipped every one. You could do every one. I don't know. That's what I did. My 5 key points. Okay. So now, my period ends at 2 pi. Got it? So that means my 5th point has to be 2 pi, because that's where it's going to end. So let's do our 5th point at 2 pi. Easy enough, right? 5 key points, period ends at 2 pi. So let's make our last one 2 pi, because that's where it's got to end. 5th point. All right. So now, pay attention very carefully, because this, I think, is easy, but to get to understand it, sometimes it gets hard to figure this out if you are distracted. What's my distance here from 0 to 2 pi? What's the distance? 2 pi, right? Okay. So if I go in the middle, what's that going to be? Half, which would be pi. So 2 pi divided by 2 in the middle will be half of 2 pi, and you wrote that as pi. Okay, that was it. My first period had a hard time, but I think they weren't paying attention to that. Okay, now let's go again here. Let's look at this distance. What's the distance between 0 and this? 0 and pi. What's the distance? Pi. In the middle's got to be what? Divided by 2. Pi divided by 2 is pi divided by 2. Oh my gosh. It's terrible. I think I need it. Oh, dude, that's so ugly. So it's pi over 2. Hang on. I gotta face it like this. Pi over 2. Okay. You guys get how now what about this? What about this mother father here, right? So each one of these increments, since this is my smallest, they increase by pi over 2. So what do you mean by that, Sensei? Well, this would be 1 pi over 2. This will be 1 pi over 2. This will be 2 pi over 2. So this will be what? 3 pi over 2. I gotta get it like this. 3 pi over 2. And there you go. There's your period. Again, that's what we did before. I already had it filled out for you, but that's how you figure it out. Boom, halfway, halfway, and then count. Boom, boom, boom. Every time you get it. I get that, Sensei. Okay. So now this got our 5 key points, right? 1, 2. Count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what are these ones? Well, this is pretty easy enough. Pi over 2, guess what this one's going to be? Negative pi over 2. Negative pi, guess what this is going to be? Negative pi. Sorry, Delilah, can you see? Yeah. Negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, and negative 2 pi, right? Just this, but mirrored. And now we just graph our 5 key points. What is this? Sine. Sine. Where are my zeros? Where are my zeros in sine? Beginning, last, and middle. Beginning, last, middle. And then what? 1 above? But how high does it go? 3, because the amplitude of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then below, we got to go to negative 3. Sorry, I just have to. You just go, woo! That's that. Five key points for sine. So then you do the same thing over here. First, notice my, oh, wait. Remember my 5 key points. First, remember these share, right? So here's my last, and here's my middle. I go above 3. I go below negative 3. I go, woo! Eyeball test. Does it look okay? That's okay. Follows the pattern. It's a little sloppy. That's it. The curvy? Curvy. No lines. Curvy. That's it. I have one more that's a little bit more difficult, okay? And then on our homework. Are you guys cool? You guys doing okay? You guys want to see the homework? It's 8.4. So there's tangent, but I'm not going to go over tangent. I'm going to do that maybe tomorrow.
Monday?
Yes. Monday. There's the homework. 8.4. It's 8.4. Let me write it on here. Uh, 8.4. 8.4. You guys got it? Is that cool? Maya, you see the homework? And Andrew? I'm gonna move on. Okay, so now, so that what number was that one that we did? So let's do 15. Okay, so go ahead and figure out the amplitude and the period. And then we can graph it. That's it, and we'll be done. What's amplitude? What's the period? Period in this one, period's a little bit more complicated than the amplitude. Let me do some pull-ups so you guys are doing it. Hey, so if you figure out the graphs, right? First, the 5 key points, it's got to end at that period. What do you guys get for the period? What do you get for the amplitude? Should I call on one of you? Oh.
Yeah.
Delilah, what do you get for the amplitude? That's the period. Good. Delilah got the period. Right? What's B equal to? B equals to 2. Period is equal to 2 pi divided by, wait. What's B equal to? 3. Sorry.
Yep.
B is equal to 3. Period is 2 pi over 3, which is equal to 2 pi over 3. What's the amplitude? Giselle, what's the amplitude? 1. What's the number in front of here? Nothing, so the amplitude equals 1. So let's graph it. 2 pi over 3. There's the graph. So graph this 1, 2. We just go up to 1 and leave this blank. Or you can fill it in if you want. This one's more difficult because of the period's 2 pi over 3. Let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll get what I got. Dun 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 dun. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Julian, you ready or you need time? You good? Ashley? Okay. So let's do the 5 key points. However you want to spread it out. What color am I doing here? I guess I'll go red. No, I'll go black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple enough, right? What's my last point going to be? 2 pi over 3. Perfect. 2 pi over 3. Need a thinner pen. Okay. Here's where it gets a little complicated. But it's not that complicated if you know your fractions. This is 2 pi over 3, so this is going to be half the distance. What's half of 2 pi over 3? Anyone know? 1 pi over 3. And if, yes, what I do though, that's obvious. If it's not that obvious with the fractions, you multiply it by 1/2. And you get 2 pi. This is more complicated, but it helps you get the answer. And then you simplify it. 2 pi over 6 to pi over 3. 1 pi over 3, leave it as pi over 3, not 1 pi over 3. Pi over 3. Okay? And then, what's half the distance of this? How do you figure out half of pi over 3? I did it over here. Pi over 3. How do you figure out half of pi over 3? Multiply by 1/2, which is what? Pi over 6. So this is pi over 6. Cut it in half. And now we know we're increasing by pi over 6. So this is 1 pi over 6. This is 2 pi over 6. So what's this going to be? 1 pi over 6. 2 pi over 6. What were you guys saying? 3 pi over 6. But can we simplify 3 pi over 6? It is 3 pi over 6. We've got to simplify it. What does that simplify to? Pi over 2. So there you go. That's the hardest part. But you guys understand the thought process behind that, right? Just have to think a little bit. So this is cosine. Oh, let's do our negatives. 1, 2. Hang on. My 5 key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My 5 key points on this side. And then I just mirror this. Pi over 6, negative pi over 6. Pi over 3, negative pi over 3. Pi over 2, negative pi over 2. 2 pi over 3, negative 2 pi. Sorry, Delilah, not your way up. I just did everything but the negatives. This is cosine. You guys want to try graphing it on your own? Give you guys a little bit, help each other out. Remember, 5 key points. The 2, I don't know what to call those 2. 2 zeros, and then 1 above, below, and above. What are we doing? Every other step, while you guys graph this. Okay, you guys ready? Whew. You guys graph it? Let's do my zeros. Well, I don't know, what you don't have a good name for these two? No, I can't think of it. There's 2 zeros. You guys put them there. Pi over 6, pi over 2. Amplitude of 1, right? So go up 1, down to negative 1, and above to positive 1. Right? And then here, my two zeros, 0, 0. I'm going to start on this side. Up 1, down 1. Oh, oops. I didn't put that in the right spot. Okay. Up 1, down to -1, then back up to positive, which I already have that there. Whoop. Whoop. There. That's all you got to do. What do you guys think? I always miss that dot, that point right there. What a problem. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the lesson. You guys want to learn tangent, or should we do that another day?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah? Marcos? Anthony wants to. Julian, what do you think? I'm tired. You want to know what tangent looks like, though? Okay, you got to fill one of those out. Tangent, look at this. Looks like this. And then you have another one here. You have another one here. That's what tangent looks like. Just so you know. Is that interesting? You guys excited? Delilah, you excited about that? No? Okay. Neither am I. There's a homework. There's so much to hear. All right, guys. Mia, Andrew, I'm done.
Mr. Sanchez, can you go back to the graph, please?
Yeah. I can. The number, what was that, number 15, I think? This one?
Yes, thank you.
You need to explain, or you just need to look at it?
I just needed to look at it.
Okay. Oh, I should bring my Nintendo and hook it up on here. My old school Nintendo. I got to remember that on Monday. I'll play it while you guys are taking the test. And whoever beats me in the game will get 100% on the test automatically.
Okay.
I don't know. Mega Man?
Play Smash Bros.
I don't have that. I did have the old Nintendo. Actually, no, I do have the. I have the, what do they call that? The Switch. I have that. My kids play it. Smash Bros. Go, Bill, hook it up on here. I'm sure I'd be able to. How are you, Mia? You need it still?
No, I'm okay now. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up on you guys. Is that cool, Andrew? Do you have any
Yep.
questions?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, did that help? Did you guys understand it when you were watching here, or is it kind of confusing?
I understand it.
I understood it.
All right, very good. Well, good thing you guys came, because I'm telling. Oh, so before you go, we have a test on Monday. Right? Make sure you study for it.
We'll be doing it during second period, right? We don't have to come early in the morning to do it? Or...
No, it's during class.
Oh, okay.
During class. Andrew, you good?
Yep.
All right, I love you guys. I miss you. I'm crying.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, see you later. Did you say, here I said I love you, and they just were like, they didn't say I love you too. They just felt weird. That's terrible. That was awkward.